Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about another important chapter in geography, that is India. So in India, we try to discuss about transport and communication. So in this chapter, we try to learn about one is what is the meaning and importance of transport and also communication. Then second one is modes of transport in India. Modes, different types of transport that are practiced in our country. Then after, so in transport, we discuss about land transport, water transport, air transport, and finally, lastly, we discuss about what is meant by communication and meaning of communication and importance of communication. What types of communications are there in our country? Very firstly, we know what is the meaning of transport and also what are the importance of transport. Here first we know about what is the meaning of transport. Remember, transporting or transport means movement of goods, services and passengers from one place to another place is called transport. What is the meaning of transport? Yes, movement of goods, movement of passengers, and also movement of services from one place to another place is called transport. Clear? Okay. Then what are the importance of transport? Remember, transport play a very important role in our country or in the development of all factors of human activities. Transport play a very important role in the development of all factors of the human beings, namely the primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. So one of the statement is there. If agriculture and industries are the bone of the nation. Remember, if agriculture and industries are the bone of the nature, and remember, transport and communications are the nervous system of our country. So in this way, we say about the importance of transport in our country. Remember, we discuss what are the importance of the land transport in our country. So efficient and cheap means of transport helps to the. Ready? You see that efficient transport system and very cheap transport system. So develop the resources. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳನ್ನು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಪಡಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. Then also agriculture and also promotes industrial progress. Remember? So efficient and cheap means of transport helps to development. Transport ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದನ್ನ? ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್, then agriculture and promotion of industrial progress. Not only these items, transport also widen the market. Widen. So many vast, widen the market and increase the internal and external trade. Transport helps to increase the internal trade and external trade. Then provide employment opportunities. Transport provide employment opportunities. Then transport raise the income and standard of living. Transport tries to increase the income, raise the income. When income is rise, the standard of living is also rise. Then encouraging tourism. Transport facilities also encourages tourism and defense purpose. So these are all the importance of transport in our country. Then another one is modes of transport. Next we discuss about modes. Modes of transport. Modes of transport. ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಿಧಗಳು, ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಧಗಳು. Remember? So 3 types of transport. You write transport. So there are 3 types of transport. 3 types. First one is land transport. First one, land transport. Second one is land transport. Second one is water transport. Water transport and air transport. Air transport. So, secondly, we discuss about modes of transport. There are 3 types of transport. One is ಭೂ ಸಾರಿಗೆ, ಜಲ ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಯು ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ 3 ರೀತಿಯ ಸಾರಿಗೆಗಳು. ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್, ವಾಟರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ and air transport. Again, land transport are divided into 3 categories. Land transport are divided into 3 categories. One is roads. Roads. Then another one is railways. Railways. And third one is pipeline. Pipeline transport. Then water transport is divided into 2 categories. One is inland. Inland waterways. Then second one is ocean. Ocean waterways. Then again, air transport is divided into national air transport international air transport. In this way, we divide the modes of transport into three categories. One is land transport, water transport, and air transport. Again, land transport divided into roads, railways, and pipelines. Then water transport into inland waterways and ocean waterways. Air transport divided into two categories. One is national air transport and another one is international airways. Then firstly we discuss about land transport. Among the land transport we discuss about roads. Remember, roads are most ancient. Remember, write about briefly road transport and roads. Haga to write that roads are the most important, not only important, universal. Wherever we go, we saw the road. So in this way, roads are most important and most universal means of transport. These roads play a vital role in the economic growth. Roads play a very important role in the economic growth of the nation, because India is a land of village. Bharata Halligala Nadu, land of village. And remember, mainly not only a land of village, India is mainly an agricultural country, because India is a land of village and also agricultural country. For the development of agriculture and for the development of village industries, roads are very essential. Remember, why the roads are essential? Because for the development of village industries, roads are essential, because they are very convenient. Roads are very convenient to connect the isolated village. It is not possible to touch that village through other means of transport, that is isolated. But road transport always try to connect isolated villages, and roads can be constructed in the forest area also. It is possible to construct the roads in the forest area and also hilly regions. In the hilly regions and also in the forest area, it is very easy to construct the roads. Then finally remember, this doors for these roads also connect remote places, far off places. Roads connect remote places with the towns and cities. And the roads also provide door-to-door service. ಇವತ್ತು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳಿಂದಾಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ಮನೆಗೂ ಸಹ ಸೇವೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. The roads provide door-to-door services. Then finally we call that roads are the feeders, helpers, ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ feeders to the railways and seaports and also airports. These three items, ports, then another one is railways, then the airports are getting help from the roads. In this way, roads play a very important role. in tourism. Remember, so many historical places are connected with the roads. The roads try to connect that human beings to the tourism places. Then trade and commerce and industries are helped by the roads. Then roads create employment opportunities. Road creates employment opportunities and are most useful defense purpose. Roads also very important in the defense purpose, especially in the border area. In the border area, roads are very important. So then after we try to discuss about types of roads. Types of roads. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ರೀತಿಯ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ? Types of roads. Remember? So on the basis of physical structure, ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣುವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ roads can be divided into two types. Roads can be divided into two types. Roads can be divided into two types. One is metal road. Metal road. ಒಂದನೇದಾಗಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಪಕ್ಕಾ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳು. They are made by so many. Next I will say. One is metal road. What is the meaning of metal roads? The roads which are constructed with cement or asphalt. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರಸ್ತೆಯನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಡಾಂಬಾರಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರಸ್ತೆಯನ್ನು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮೆಟಲ್ ರೋಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. The roads which are constructed cement and asphalt is called as metal road. The second one is ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಾಗ so unmetal ಒಂದು metal road, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು unmetal road. Remember, unmetal road which are constructed in the rural areas. Unmetal road are constructed in rural areas. They made or that type of roads are constructed with soil or mud road. Remember, so these unmetal roads are constructed under Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana. Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana, these unmetal roads are constructed. Then after, remember, on the basis of construction, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತ and maintenance ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಉದ್ದೇಶದ ಮೇಲೆ there are 5 types of roads in our country. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ 5 ರೀತಿಯ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೇವೆ. So first one is golden quadrilateral road or and super highways. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಚತುಷ್ಪಥ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೂಪರ್ ಹೈವೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ಸುವರ್ಣ ಚತುಷ್ಪಥ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳು, ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ quadrilateral roads and super highways. Second one is national highway. National highway, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಹೆದ್ದಾರಿಗಳು. Third one is state highway, superhighways. Remember, the Golden Quadrilateral Highway is a project ಒಂದು ಯೋಜನೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. The project which are 4 to 6 lakh, 4 to 6 lakh ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4 ಪಥಗಳು ಅಥವಾ 4ರಿಂದ 6 ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಬಹುದಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ 6 lakhs ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಹೈವೇಯನ್ನ we call as Golden Quadrilateral Highway. This is a project which consisting of 4 to 6 lakhs. This project was started in the year of 1999. Golden Quadrilateral project was started in the year of 1999. This highway, so network connects to Golden Quadrilateral Highways connects to Delhi, Jaipura, Ahmedabad, Surat, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, Visakhapatnam, Bhubaneswar, Kolkata, Allahabad, Kanpur to Delhi. Sorry. So these are all the connected places. In all that cities we see Golden Quadrilateral highways. The another important highway is superior, super highways. The super highways are divided into two divisions. ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯ ವರ್ಗೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ super highways ಅನ್ನ. One is the north-south corridor. ನಾರ್ತ್ ಇಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಮ್ಮು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಶ್ರೀನಗರದಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಸೌತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರದವರೆಗೆ, ಜಮ್ಮು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀನಗರದಿಂದ ಕೆಳಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೌತ್ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕನ್ಯಾಕುಮಾರಿಯವರೆಗೆ. Remember, super highways are divided into two categories. One is north-south corridor, which runs from Srinagar in Kashmir and Kanyakumari in that is first super highway. Another super highway is east to west from Assam to Gujarat. East to west corridor highway. It starts from Silchar. East to west corridor is start from Silchar in Assam and ends in Porabandar in Gujarat. Gujarat na Porabandar nalli ಕೊನೆಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. So they also connect these super highways connects many important cities of our country and also industrial centers and also ports. Who construct this type of highways? Who look after the maintenance of these highways? Hagagi, the construction and maintenance of Golden Quadrilateral highways and super highways, so under the control of Central Public Work Department, CPWP, Central Public Work Department, CPW, not PW, Central Public Work Department look after the maintenance and constructions of the Golden Quadrilateral highways and also the super highways. Then we go to the second important road is National Highway. National Highway. Remember these trunk roads, important roads. connect the national highways connect the state capitals, ports areas, towns and cities of national importance. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಿಗೆ, ನಗರಗಳಿಗೆ, ಪಟ್ಟಣಗಳಿಗೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ರಾಜಧಾನಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಹೈವೇ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಹೈವೇ, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ who look after the national highways? National Highway Authority of India, NHAI, NHAI, National Highway Authority of India. So look after the construction and maintenance of these national highways. Then third one is state highways. First one golden quadrilateral and super highway. Second one national highway. Third one is state highway. These state highways are connected district headquarters with state capitals. ರಾಜ್ಯದ ರಾಜಧಾನಿಯಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ, ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಪರ್ಕವನ್ನು ಕಲ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. The national highways and also connect the national highways. The state public work department, ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಲೋಕೋಪಯೋಗಿ ಇಲಾಖೆ, public work department look after the construction and maintenance of state highways. So then after, another one is district roads, ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳು. These district roads were looked after by ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್. ಆ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. So these roads, they are connected to the taluk headquarters with state highways. It also connected taluk headquarters with state highways. Then after, village roads. Village roads. Another important types of roads is village roads. Remember, these roads links the villages with one another town and market center. Village road connect the village to markets and also to the towns. Most of our village roads are unmetalled roads, mud roads. Most of our roads are unmetalled roads and are unable to travel during at the time of rainy season. In the rainy season, we are not able to make journey on the roads. So because nowadays these roads are converted into metalled roads. Nowadays our government tried to modified the mud roads into metalled roads. Then another important roads is border roads. ಗಡಿ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. So the roads in the border areas, which are especially used for borders ನಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್, ಕೇವಲ ರಕ್ಷಣಾ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಆ ರೋಡ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರೋಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ border roads. Remember, the roads which are especially used for defense purpose are called as border roads. Then these border roads are found along. So the Indian border, ಭಾರತದ ಗಡಿ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ this type of roads are found. Where we see that type of roads in the at Pakistan, in at Nepal, and in at Bhutan, and in at Bangladesh, and in at Myanmar. So in between that country with the other countries, we saw that type of border roads. Remember, who maintain this road? Who look after the construction and maintenance of border roads? So remember, the maintenance of these roads are under Border Road Development Authority. Border Road Development Authority. So look after the construction and maintenance of border roads. Then we go to another important transport system of our country is water transport. Another one is roads. Then another one we discussed that railways. We discussed about railways. So these are the road transport. So roads are divided into 5 divisions: golden quadrilateral highways or super highways, national highways, state highways, district roads, village roads, and border roads. Then we discuss about railways. Railways ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. Remember, railways are the another important means of transport in our country. Railway are the other important means of land transport. So remember, they are very useful. Railways transport are very useful to carry goods and large number of passengers over a long distance. It's very easy. Through the help of railway, we carry goods and also large number of passengers from one place to another place. Very distant place we travel through the help of the railway. These railways play a very important role. Very important role. So in our country or in the development of agriculture, railways play a very important role in the development of agriculture and in the development of industry and in the development of economy, Indian economy. So in all these matters, India plays railway transport play a very important role. Then remember, railway transport also try to expand trade and tourism. ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರವಾಸೋದ್ಯಮವನ್ನು ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಪಡಿಸತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ರೈಲ್ವೇಸ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ railway were constructed during at the time of British period. ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ರೈಲ್ವೆಯನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ during at the time of British period for convenient transport of raw materials. ಯಾಕೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅವರು ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು in our country? To carry raw materials and movement of army from one place to another place. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಳದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಆರ್ಮಿಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಸೈನಿಕರನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಲೈನ್, ಮೊದಲ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಲೈನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯಾವ ನಗರಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ? ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಬಾಂಬೆ ಟು ಥಾನೆ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ 1810. Yes, in the year of 1810. So the second railway line led in between Calcutta to Raniganj in the year of 1854. Second one is 1854. Second railway line was led in between Calcutta to Raniganj. So then after third one is Chennai to Arakonam. Chennai to Arakonam in the year of 1864. So another important railway line in between Chennai to Arakonam was the important railway line in the year of 1864. So gradually railway transport developed in other parts of our country. Remember, today nowly railways forms a large public sector. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ವಲಯದಲ್ಲಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅತಿ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಉದ್ಯಮ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Today railways form a large public sector. So undertaking in India. So this railway have a network about 7,031 today in our country. 7,031 states including Kadura, Belur also, Manikere also. In this way, today in our India, 7,031 stations and a length of 64,000 kilometers. 64,000 kilometers and 15 kilometers of length. ಇಷ್ಟು ಉದ್ದದ ನೋಡಿ 64,000 15 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಉದ್ದದ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. 7,031 railway stations and 64,015 kilometers of railways are today in our country. Railways are divided into 17 zones. 17 zones ಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Railways in our country are divided into 17 zones for the purpose of efficient management. Then many steps are taken to improve them or provided comfortable and safe railway travel in our country. So that is the railway transport. Then another one is pipeline transport. ಕೊಳವೆ ಮಾರ್ಗದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. So this type of pipeline transport, so a new type of transport. It is one of the new type of transport that pipelines are laid under the earth surface. ಭೂಮಿಯ ಒಳಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೈಪ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಉಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನೈಸರ್ಗಿಕವಾಗಿ pipelines are so laid under earth surface. So they are mostly used for the pipeline transport are mostly used for the crude oil. ನೋಡಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಳಸ್ತೀರಾ ಪೈಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ರೂಡ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಚ್ಚಾ ತೈಲವನ್ನ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಬೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ತರಬೇಕು ನಾವು ಟು ರಿಫೈನರೀಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೂಡ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮಿನರಲ್ ಸ್ಲರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಸರು ಅನೇಕ ಖನಿಜಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಸರಿನ ಉಪಾದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಲರಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೈಪ್ಲೈನ್ Pipeline transport are very useful for the transporting of crude oil, then gas, then another one is ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದಿನ್ನೊಂದು slurry, mineral slurry. The total length of pipeline in our country is 35,000. Remember, 35,000 and 676 kilometers of transport are seen in our country. So that is the pipeline transport. So then after we goes to water transport. Second one is water transport. Remember, India was one of the most advanced country. Most advanced in seafaring country. ಸಮುದ್ರಯಾನ ಗೊತ್ತಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಥಾನಮಾನ ಇದೆ. So from the first area, these waterways are provided. Navigation facilities. ನೋಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಯಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವುದು ವಾಟರ್ವೇಸ್, ಜಲಸಾರಿಗೆ. ಯಾವುದರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ? One is help of the ship and another one is help of the boat. ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಡಗಿನ ಮುಖಾಂತರವಾಗಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ದೋಣಿಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರವಾಗಿ. It's very helpful. Totally, waterways can be divided into two categories. Waterways. Remember, waterways divided into two categories. Right. Yes, Indian waterways are divided into two categories. One is inland waterways. Inland waterways. Second one is inland waterways. Second one is ocean waterways. In this way, we divided the waterways into two categories. One is inland waterways and ocean waterways. Yes, inland waterways. We discussed about inland waterways. So rivers, then lakes, then backwaters. ನದಿಗಳಾಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಸರೋವರಗಳಾಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಇನ್ನೀರು ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳ backwaters and canals are the inland waterways. ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಒಳನಾಡು ಜಲಸಾರಿಗೆ, rivers, lakes, backwaters and canals are the important inland waterways. So at one time, ಒಂದಾನೊಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, so inland waterways played a very important role. Once upon a time, these inland waterways played a very important role or very important transport system of our country. Now they are limited. ಇವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಹ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. Because the development of roads, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, so the contribution of inland waterways are limited. So India inland waterways are mainly carried goods and people. ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳನಾಡು ಜಲಸಾರಿಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, one place to another place ಅಂದ್ರೆ goods and people, ಎಲ್ಲಿ along with river Ganga, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಗಂಗಾ ನದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ Now today we transport so many people and goods. Then not in only Ganga river and also in Brahmaputra and their tributaries. So many tributaries. So in the place of river Ganga and in the place of river Brahmaputra and their tributaries. So in North India, inland waterways, very popular in river Ganga area and river Brahmaputra area, and also the tributaries of these two rivers in North India. But in South India, Dakshina Bharatali, so this type of navigation is only the deltic course of the Nadigala Matra inland waterways is carried. So then after we discussed about ocean waterways, Sagara, water transport through sea area and ocean area is called as ocean waterways. ನಾವು ಸಮುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾರಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಾಗರ ಸಾರಿಗೆಗಳು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರೆದುಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. So India has a long coastline from Gujarat to West Bengal, a long coastal areas and also some of the port areas is there in our country. So India is located at the ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಲೊಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಹೆಮಿಸ್ಫಿಯರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪೂರ್ವಾರ್ಧಗೋಳದ ಮಧ್ಯಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತ ಇರಬೇಕು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 85% ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಓಷಿಯನ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. All these factors favor for the ocean transports in our country. Then we discussed about ports area. Ports area. ಬಂದರು ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ. So what is the meaning of port? Anybody knows? Yes. What is the meaning of port? Port means these ports are meeting points. ಸಂಧಿಸುವ ಸ್ಥಳ, ಕೂಡುವ ಸ್ಥಳ. Ports are meeting points between land and sea routes. ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಭೂಭಾಗ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಭಾಗ, ಎರಡೂ ಸಹ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ we call as port area. Port means they are the meeting places. Ports are the meeting points between land and sea routes. So in that places, ships are docked. Ships are stayed with loading work and unloading work. And there are many ports in our country. So all the ports of our country are divided into three categories. One is major ports, intermediate ports, and minor ports. In this way, the Indian ports are divided into three categories: major ports, intermediate ports, and minor ports. Remember, major ports. What is the differences between major, intermediate, and minor? So in the major ports, major ports. Today, in our country, 14 major ports of India. ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ 14 ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬಂದರುಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. There are 14 major ports, of which 6 ports are along with the western coast. So remember, so that is eastern coast, that is western coast. So in our country there are 14 ports. 14 ports ಗಳಿದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ so ಇಲ್ಲಿ 6, remember India 6 along with the western coast. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 6 ports are along with the western coast and 7 along with the eastern coast. 7 along with the eastern coast, and one is at so Andaman and Nicobar Islands. One is at so here, so there is Andaman and Nicobar Islands is there. Andaman and Nicobar Islands ಒಂದು ports ಗಳು ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ports ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಆದರೆ ports ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ports ನೋಡಿದಾಗ one is Kandla. Here ports ಬಂದಾಗ Kandla. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದು Kandla. Remember, it is located at end of ಗುಜರಾತಿನ so ಮೇಲ್ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ Kandla ports ಇದೆ. It is located at ಗುಜರಾತ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಯಾವುದು Kandla. It is located at the end of Gujarat of Kutch, Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat. That is first one. Second one bandaga Mumbai. Another one is Mumbai. Here Mumbai. Second port is Mumbai. Remember, it is the biggest port. Not only biggest, most spacious, spacious and well sheltered port. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಹಡಗು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಿತವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. This Mumbai port is situated in Maharashtra. So this Mumbai port is called as Gateway of India. Yado Gateway of India. Very important one. Remember, Mumbai port is called as Gateway of India. So then another one is Jawaharlal Nehru port. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಕೆಳಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು Jawaharlal Nehru port. Third one. Remember, so this port known as Nhava Sheva. Remember, another name is named to Jawaharlal Nehru port is Nhava Sheva port. Remember, this port, it is located near Elephant Caves. ಮುಂಬೈನ ಕೆಳಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಕೇವ್ ಎಂಬ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ this type of port is located 10 kilometers from Mumbai. ಮುಂಬೈನಿಂದ 10 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ದೂರದಲ್ಲಿ this port was located. Remember, it has been built for the purpose of to reduce the pressure of Mumbai. ಮುಂಬೈ ನಗರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒತ್ತಡವನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಈ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾವ ಪೋರ್ಟ್? ಈ ಒಂದು ನವಸೇವಾ ಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಡ್ರಾಯ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದೆನ್ ಮರ್ಮಗೋವಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮರ್ಮಗೋವಾ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವುದು? ಸೊ ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮರ್ಮಗೋವಾ ಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಎಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಜುವಾರಿ ರಿವರ್ ಎಸ್ಟುರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಗೋವಾ. ಗೋವಾ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜುವಾರಿ ಎಸ್ಟುರಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ this type of port is there. Then another one is New Mangalore. We see here New Mangalore port. ಇಲ್ಲಿ so it is known as New Mangalore port is called as the gateway of Karnataka. As like Mumbai is called as gateway of India, New Mangalore port is called as gateway of Karnataka. It is situated at Penambur, Karnataka. Penambur nalli and the north of Mangalore. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಕಚ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕೊಚ್ಚಿ. Kochi portal areas ಬಂದಾಗ so it is located on the coast of Kerala. Kerala coast line ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೊಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. It is called as the Queen of Arabian Sea. Remember, very important. The Kochi port is called as the Queen of Arabian Sea. So these are all the important Kochi. So these are all the important. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 are the important western ports area. Now we discuss about another coastal area, the eastern coastal area ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲವು ಬಂದರ್ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಬಂದಾಗ ಟುಟಿಕಾರಿನ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಟುಟಿಕಾರಿನ್ ಈ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟುಟಿಕಾರಿನ್ port area. Remember, this Tuticorin is associated at south estuary ಅಥವಾ south eastern part of Tamil Nadu. ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಿನ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ Tuticorin port is sea. Then another one is Chennai. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ Chennai port. Remember, so it is located in Chennai port is located in Tamil Nadu and it is the olden port of India. Chennai port is olden port. ಬಹಳ ಹಳೆಯದಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇದು ಬಂದರು ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Chennai port is called as olden port. It was an artificial port. Chennai port is also artificial port. Then after Chennai ಇಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ Ennore. Ennore port. Chennai ಇಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದಾಗ Ennore port ನೋಡಿದಾಗ so it has been developed too. This port is developed for the reduce of the pressure. Reduce the pressure of traffic on Chennai port. ಈ Chennai port ಇಂದ ಒತ್ತಡವನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Ennore port ಅನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. It is located to the north of Chennai. ಚೆನ್ನೈನ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಲೊಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವುದು? Ennore. Then after we discuss about Visakhapatnam here. Visakhapatnam. Visakhapatnam port. Remember, it is one of the deepest. Visakhapatnam is one of the deepest port and landlocked port. Remember, that is the extra characters of Visakhapatnam port. Very deepest and also landlocked and remember protected port. So it located on the coast of Andhra Pradesh. The Karavada Pradesh is located. This type of Visakhapatnam port. Then after, remember, so it is located on the coast of Andhra Pradesh. Then after, another one is Paradip Port. Mattondhu port nodidage mukhyavagi Paradip port is also one of the important port. It is located on Mahanadi Delta area. Paradip port is located on Mahanadi Delta areas in Odisha. Then after Haldia, so Haldia port areas is situated on the confluence river Hooghly and Aldi, West Bengal river Hooghly and river Aldi, this type of port is located. It receives a large ship, which cannot enter port Kolkata. Kolkata port nalli entry agirtಕ್ಕಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹಡಗುಗಳನ್ನು this ಯಾವುದು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ Haldia port receives that type of ships. Then another one is Kolkata. ಇನ್ನು ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದಾಗ here ಯಾವುದು Kolkata port. Kolkata port ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ it is a riverine port. ನದಿಯಿಂದ ಆವೃತವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಥವಾ ಬಂದರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ. That is located on the left of the bank river Hooghly. Hooghly ನದಿಗೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಒಂದು ಬಂದರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಲ್ಕತ್ತಾ ಬಂದರು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ so it is the second biggest port of India. Kolkata port is the second biggest port of India and also largest terminal port. Kolkata port is a largest terminal port of Southeast Asia. Number of times it suffers from the problem of silting. ಅನೇಕ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ ನದಿಯ ಕೆಳಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ silting waste ನಿಂದಾಗಿ so many problems are faced by this type of Kolkata area. So dredging, remember, dredging is required. What is the meaning of dredging? Removal of silt from the earth bed is called dredging. Is essential in that area. Then last one is Port Blair. Last one ಬಂದಾಗ Port Blair ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯಾವುದಿದೆ ಬಂದರು ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಇದೆ. So it is situated in Andaman and not here. So Port Blair is located in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, so which is one of the Union territory of India. Andaman and Nicobar is one of the Union territory. Port Blair was located in that areas. So that is the second water transport. Now we try to discussing about air transport. So what is the meaning of air transport? Remember, air transport is very quickest part of it, means of transport, and it is very efficient, very quickest means of transport and very efficient. It is carry passengers and mails. ಜನತೆಯನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸುದ್ದಿಯನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಬೇಗ ಒಯ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಾಯು ಸಾರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್, ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಆನ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸೀಸ್, ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ತುರ್ತು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದರೆ ಆನ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಾರ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಫ್ಲಡ್ಸ್, like earthquake, like earthquakes, these air transports are very useful. Remember, our air transports is very useful at the time of war time, at the time of floods time, at the time of earthquake times. Our air transports are very useful. So India is a vast country, very biggest country. So, and has all the favors, very biggest country, all the favorable locations to develop of air transport. Remember, in India, so India's national flag carried after the merging with Indian Airline in the year of 2011 and play a major role in the connecting Indians with the rest of other world. Air transport is made connecting of India's with other papers. Very recently, air transport, so in the public sector, teaching air transport in the public sector, but now they are private, number of private transport companies holding the permits for non-scheduled service. ಇವತ್ತು ಅನೇಕ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಕಂಪನಿಯವರು ಏರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೆಟ್ ಏರ್ವೇಸ್, Sahara Airlines, and another one is Paramount Airways are the important. Then in our country, where we saw the airports. Remember, so in our country there are 141 airports are there in our country. So among them 28 designated as international airport. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 21 ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ, ಸಾರಿ 28 ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವಿಮಾನ ನಿಲ್ದಾಣಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. 88 ಆರ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್, 88 ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಸೊ ಸಿವಿಲ್ 25 or civil enclosed at defense airfield, 25 ಯುದ್ಧ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಅಂಡ್ ಹೂ ಲುಕ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜಿಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ ಏರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ವಿ ಸಿ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಅಂದರೆ, ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ. ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿದೆ. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಛತ್ರಪತಿ ಶಿವಾಜಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಮುಂಬೈ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ನೇತಾಜಿ ಸುಭಾಷ್ ಚಂದ್ರ ಬೋಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಕೋಲ್ಕತ್ತಾ. Then fourth one is Anna International Airport in Chennai. Kempegowda International Airport at Bangalore. Then Rajiv Gandhi International Airport at Hyderabad. Then another one is Lokapriya Gopinath Bordolia International Airport at Gujarat. Then another one is Biju Patnaik International Airport at Bhubaneswar. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport at Ahmedabad. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar International Airport at Nagpur. Jarki International Airport at Shillong. Lal Bahadur Shastri International Airport at Varanasi are the important international airports of our country. So these are the airports. Last one we discussed about communication meaning. Communications meaning on that. What is the meaning of communication? Remember, conveying of message from one place to another place or from one person to another person is called communication. Conveying of message from one person to another person or one place to another place is called communication. Remember, it is not new to human beings. So in the ancient times, birds and animals were used for the means of communication. Remember, what are the importance of communications? Very important one. Point number one, it helps to quick transportation, transmission and dismission of ideas. ನೋಡಿ ಬೇಗನೆ ಕೊಡೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದು? communication. It helps to quick transportation and dissemination of ideas and information and messages from person to person and place to place. ನೋಡಿ, ಇವತ್ತು communication ಇಂದಾಗಿ person to person and place to place very easily conveying the message. Second one is communication helps to creating. Communication helps to creating awareness among the people. ಜನತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗೃತಿಯನ್ನು ಮೂಡಿಸುತ್ತೆ about the government policies and programs of development. ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ನೀತಿಗಳನ್ನು, ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು communication. Third one is it enables to know about the natural hazards. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಾಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಘಾತಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ and disasters, ದುರಂತ and weather forecast, ಹವಾಮಾನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ and it helps in the progress of trade, industries and agriculture. So communication also helps in the fields of trade, industry and also in the agriculture. Then another one is it provides, communication provides entertainment and day-to-day information of the world. Today we get day-to-day information of the world through the help of communications and also helps to maintain unity and integrity of country. Then remember, today in India has a varieties of various modes of communication. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. So may broadly divided into two categories. Communications are divided into two categories. One is personal communications and another one is mass communications. Remember, letters, telegrams, telephones, fax, email, internet service and seminars and conferences are the personal communications. Now, newspapers, radios, televisions, magazines and books comes under the communication, mass communication. Then we discussed about postal service. We discussed about postal service. This is one of the very important means of communication. So that existed from the long time. ಬಹಳ ದಿನಗಳಿಂದ ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಚೆ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ನಾವು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. Post office provide many services. Today we got many services by the help of the post office and delivering letters, packages, parcels, money orders from one place to another place. They also provide saving bank account. Postal department also provide saving bank accounts and also issuing national service certificates. So these are all the importance by the post office. Then we discuss telecommunication. It refers to the communication over a distance by cable, telegraph, telephone, fax. ಇವುಗಳ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತನಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೌಕರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಲ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದು? ಟೆಲಿಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಟೆಲಿಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ has reached almost every corner of our country. Telephone and mobile phone services have replaced the telegram service. Then after radio and television. Remember, these two communication medias play a very important role in mass communication. Even in the remote places, even in the remote places, people can listen. Janata kelbodu. Yenanda the radio message and watch TV. Radio message and kelbodu, TV and nodabodu. And they are very useful because of the farmers also got up to date information. Farmers, uneducated people, got information, up to date information about agricultural problems, farms, commodities, then prices, then weather forecast, and modern method of cultivation. So they provide a varieties of program. Farmers provide a varieties of program, such educational programs, then informative news, entertainment programs are there in our country. So All India Radio so was started in the year of 1930. Then TV broadcasting in our country started in the year of 1959 at Delhi. Then another one is newspapers. So these are all the important media of communication which came under the print media. Newspaper came under the print media. So more than a lack of newspaper in our country, a lack of newspapers and periodicals in different languages are registered in our country. Out of these, 41 newspapers have a historical history. More than 100 years they completed. 41 papers are history. They completed 100 years. The oldest and still existing newspapers of our country is Bombay Samachar. The old and still existed newspaper is Bombay Samachar. So now he is at Mumbai. Then finally Samachar, So in Gujarati language, yaudu Bombay Samachar. So in Gujarati language was started in the year of 1822. It is one of the very oldest newspaper of our country. Then last communication media is satellites and computer network. Remember the development of electronic technology. ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ. So computer network has provided internet facilities, email service, artificial satellite has started. Artificial satellite has started new era. It was a second ಆರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದೆ in the history of global communication. So radio and TV network in India are done through the satellite technology. Nowadays, radio and TV work through the help of satellites. Then another one is Geographical Information System, GIS. Geographical Information System. Then Global Positioning System, GPS. Global Positioning System and Remote Sensing Technology. Remote Sensing Technology have been developed in our country. So among these three items, GIS is a computer-based system which can accumulate and internet data. Same ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ internet data ಇದು ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ on the earth surface. ಯಾವುದು GIS is computer based technology. It accumulates the internet data on the earth surface. And the GPS indicates ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ indicates the location of a stationary or moving object. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಯಾವುದು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? GPS ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Finally, remember a person pointing in the latitudes or longitudes, then high above the level. Finally, the remote sensing technology called information regarding the earth surface. ಯಾವುದು information technology given sensing ಯಾವುದು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ sensing technology, remote sensing technology given the earth surface. So these are all the work done through the help of the aerial satellite phones are taken through the remote sensing technology. So these are all the important communication medias of our country. Thank you, dear students. We continue in next class.